Good morning, everybody. It's about 5:30 a.m. here. I've woken up and can't go back to sleep, sadly, even though I'd love to sleep in with a jam-packed day today. But wow, I've just woken up to beautiful pre-music that gets played through the whole city. There's massive speakers that play this pre-music every few hours, and it's beautiful. So that's been such a nice wake up. It's quite cold right now, for me anyway. I got laughed at last night when I wanted to vacate inside because I was cold. But it's actually colder here than it is in New Zealand, so my body is just, yeah, not used to it. So, and of course I didn't really dress that many warm clothes because I assumed it would be warm enough. During the days it's really hot, very hot during the days. But nights get freezing. I even had the heat pump on last night. That cold. So yeah, so that's been great. But basically, I just wanted to talk to you about what I got up to yesterday and how my day went, how I found it, what was great, what wasn't. My guide started by picking me up at 9 in the morning, and he's an amazing guide. Looks after me so well. I've got him on call 24/7 if I need anything. He's just sorted me out. So he picks me up and he goes, right, we're gonna go camelback riding to the Giza pyramids. And so he's got some good friends and reliable other guides that he has connections through Egypt. And so instead of just going to the gate of where you enter into the pyramids, I'm riding on camelback through the desert for a good hour. So before I get there, I'm getting really excited, seeing the pyramids get closer and closer. So his friend's guiding me on his horse, Rasan, and my camel was called Rambo. He was very gentle and lovely. And then I was led by a man on a rope on the walking by as well. So I felt really safe. I was guided by one man who was speaking to me in English and was communicating to me. And it was lovely having the horse companionship, being another horse lover, so that was great. And then being led on the ground. So if the camel decided to bolt, I was looked after. Because you do find that, don't want to freak you out, but there were these groups of, 10 camels being led by guides, and, if one of them decides to bite or kick, it's, yeah, I want to feel held on to, because it's actually really high up on the ground, very high. So it was, I was used to it being a horse girl, so I had a bit of, I felt okay, but I can imagine as someone else, I'd be a little freaked out. But riding through the city was amazing. I mean, it was intimidating. You've got so much going on. You've got the amount of stray dogs and stray cats and children running through the streets, and there's hundreds of horses around, hundreds of camels, carts, traffic going all ways. You're getting looked at because, you're a tourist, they're wanting to eye you up to either buy something, to sell you something, sorry. They're just trying to get your attention, you've got people yelling at you. But yeah, it was incredible just seeing walking down the local streets, how they live life. It's pretty dirty, I'll admit. It's coming from New Zealand, we take for granted our clean country, but there's rubbish everywhere you look. It's just coated, it's so polluted, but that's just what it is. That's what, there's such a lot, there's a lot of people living here and they live differently, which is, it's just one way of the world. So it was shocking and hurtful to see that to the planet. It was really hard. Another issue that came up was seeing how the animals were treated. I cried like a baby, actually, seeing, from kids who are 3 to 4, just whacking, and just for fun. You see the fun of it, even while the horse or the camel were walking perfectly fine. Yeah, they'll whack it and whip it, and it's hard to see. I really struggled with that, as I said, having a horse back home and just being a natural lover for animals. It was really hard. So I did the camelback for experience. My camel was well looked after, but I will not be riding any donkeys or any horses, or I can tell you right now for that fact. It was just hard, and yeah, it was really hard. Excuse me. But other than that, it was beautiful, and I fully respect their way of culture. But yeah. Anyway, moving on. When I got into the desert, it was beautiful. Once again, there was rubbish going through, which is expected. It is everywhere. But other than that, walking through the desert, being led by a camel, is just a mind-blowing experience. It still doesn't feel like it's real. I don't feel like I'm in Egypt right now, but it's just, yeah, it's mind-blowing. So as we got closer and closer to the pyramids, yeah, they're massive. They're incredible. They're so beautiful, the history and the culture that's there. It was nice, my guide was an excellent photographer. I got some great photos. He knew all the bits and the tricks and the best places. You've got people stationed through the desert as you're walking by trying to sell you drinks and jewelry and things like that. And my best thing was I just ignore it. You don't make eye contact, because once you make eye contact you feel guilty, like you need to talk. And naturally, me being a social person, I want to say no thank you, like don't worry about it. But they will keep hassling, so the best way is just to walk away. And I use la shukran a lot. And I tell you what, if you learn a little bit of Arabic, even just hello, goodbye, no thank you, it will just show that you're attempting to speak their language. Your life is made so much easier. As soon as they hear that the la shukran, like, no thank you in Arabic, they assume you know Arabic and you're onto it. So they leave you alone, because I know it sounds mean, but they will go on the weak. they will target you if you are, if you seem nervous or if you're not confident. So even if you're not confident, which in a lot of scenarios I wasn't, you need to act confident, because it gives that across, and it's important. So knowing that was really helpful, and even my guide through the desert really appreciated it. And I was like, hey, why don't you teach me a word while we're walking through? So even just that, trying to learn, which was really, really good, and he was helpful with that. But yeah, the pyramids. When I got to the pyramids, it was beautiful. I had a nice quiet day. I recommend going in the morning, because the school groups go in the afternoon. So go in the morning where it's nice and quiet. There's not too many people there. I recommend trying to find a really good camel guide to take you through. But yeah, it was incredible walking through, seeing the Giza plateau. And there's so many rumors of why the pyramids were built, and I'm not going to get into it too much, but I'm still unsure myself. You hear the most common is the fact that they were tombs for their pharaohs and their the royals, which is they're mummified and they're put in gold plated, and for the afterlife, it's for the Egyptians, it's so important to get to the afterlife, to be able to come back a second time. That's what they strive for. That their body needs to be perfect to be able to be considered to go into the afterlife. So I see that they'll build this beautiful place to keep them preserved, but I also question the fact that it takes thousands and thousands of years, thousands of workers, lots of hard work. There are chambers that have not even allowed to be seen by the human eye yet. They know that they're there, but they don't want them to be shown. Well, it's just, I respect that. I would want to keep it local. I would want to keep it private. I wouldn't want the whole world, it's something beautiful and serene. So I get that, but there's something else going on. That's all I'm going to say for now. And you do your own research, but there's, they're one of the oldest civilizations, and yeah, there's a lot of high vibration and heavy energy there that is yeah, I'm not gonna get into it because it's incredible, and it's so beautiful. And so after we walked around the Giza pyramids, we went to the Sphinx, which was awesome. One thing I will say is, for some reason, it seems to be quite common across all guides, is when you're going into attractions, for instance, when I went into one of the tombs inside the pyramids, 3 smaller pyramids, which were apparently for the women. So you've got the 3 bigger pyramids, which are built for the men and the kings, and then you've got the 3 smaller pyramids for the women. They were built for the queens and the daughters. Anyway, so we got to go inside there. And my guide said, no, I can't come in. And it seems very common that a lot of either local people are not allowed to go in, which I found quite interesting. So be prepared for that, to be, he will show you where to go out. He will prep you of what not to say, who to interact. He'll tip the security guard for me, so I'm not bothered, which was great, because they will ask you for tipping. They will ask you questions which you don't quite understand. So he'll go, oh no, I'm looked after, as he's my friend. So that's great. But that was, it was scary because I'm walking around on my own for a little bit, and there are thousands of people there. So, and not very many people will speak English. A lot of tourists aren't English spoken as well. So I didn't really come across many English people. But yeah, all I can say is trust no one but yourself. Even walking around, I had a supposable guy come up to me, showed me his tag, said he was just security for the place. But even though I got an off vibe, the fact that I don't know, he was a bit, he was kind, but something just wasn't right, and he was trying to take me somewhere else, to a different part of the place where my guide told me not to go. And so I was like, no, I'm fine, but he kept persisting, and I just ended up walking away. But even though he said he was security and he was safe, you still just need to stick with your instinct and your gut. So I carried on, but it's something to be aware of because people are really sneaky. They're really sneaky here. So after the pyramids, I left, and I said goodbye. Oh, remember to tip. It's so important. It makes your journey so much easier if you tip respectively. And because services are so cheap here, tipping is really just included within the price. So just be prepared to, when you pay for an experience, be prepared to add a tip to that. And you can tip what you like, what you think, how he did, if he made you happy, if he did a great service. So yeah, remember, it's been hard for me, day 3, and I'm just slowly remembering to tip. Even when I'm ordering dinner, or I've got a different guide taking me, or I have a driver, or a server who's served me a beverage in a shop. Very often when you go shopping, they will ask you if you want a drink. Make sure you get bottled water. Don't trust the Pepsis, possibly, if they're not sealed. Get bottled water because the water can be quite dirty. It can affect your body if you're not used to it. Of course, these guys, they're tolerant to this water, so it's not so harsh on them. But yeah, so my guide picked me up. I said goodbye to my camel guide, which was amazing. I still can't even believe that experience happened. And so we went and got some lunch. Food-wise, what have I eaten? Yesterday I had cheese sandwiches. There's a lot of local sandwich shops that you have for lunch, so that was really good. I was able to pack that in my bag and just get that really quickly. And then my guide took me through all the local streets. So because I had a personal driver and a car, we were driving all through the local townships, behind the main roads, which was beautiful. You saw their culture, how people lived, how people were carrying everything on their backs, on their heads, all the food stalls. I will admit, it's nerve-wracking that with all the food, it's just all the food sits in the hot sun. All the vegetables just sit on the road. There's, it's crazy. It's just a completely different way of living, and yeah, it was great to see, and it's culturally just mind-blowing, and I'm so grateful to be having this experience and to be opening up different ways of living. So then we what did we do? I had a 20-minute nap because I was exhausted. I was so tired, just getting used to the time difference, so I slept in the back of the car for about 20 minutes. and we went to the first ever pyramid that was built, which was near the Bent Pyramid. So you've got 3 pyramids there. There's the unfinished pyramid, which is said that it wasn't up to satisfaction for the king it was being built for. There's the second pyramid, which wasn't straight enough, so it got left unfinished. And you've got the third one. And then, so you were able to go into that tomb. And that was beautiful. If you have back problems, if you get claustrophobic, if you don't like the dark and spooky sounds, I would not recommend it. I would recommend it 100%. It's beautiful. I love the experience, every second of it. But yeah, you're climbing about 300 to 400 stairs backwards on a knee and hand angle down a slope in the dark with a minimal lighting. It didn't help, I was wearing very long skirts at the time, so I had to take it very slow. But it was beautiful, it was very quiet so I just had me and a couple of other people there, so it was really serene and nice to enjoy. You go through different rooms, which was really beautiful. I will leave if you want the destination or the name of the place, let me know and I'll get you the details and I'll put it in the comments. But yeah, when you get down there, it's incredible just to touch that and feel that and be there. It's the fact that that's opened up. Of course, you know, the tomb's gone, it's been either stolen or taken away. One negative thing is the fact that the whole place just reeked of urine. It was really bad, actually. I wanted to sit in there for a while, but the smell was making me gag. It was really bad. But that's just what it is. It's, you know, it's something that's been there for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, and I assume people will go in there during the night and do whatever. But yeah, amazing experience. If you climbed up and down there every day, you would get really fit. Man, it was like a sauna in there, and I broke a sweat. But it was so satisfying, and you should see the photo of me after. It's just exhilarating. My face was bright, I felt amazing, even though I was exhausted. There's no words, you just have to experience it. And I got to the top and you could see the whole city, and then there was the prayer music playing again, and it was beautiful. And remember the tip, there were 2 men at the top who were encouraging you as you were coming up and encouraging you as you were going down. And sadly I had no money on me at the time, and they were very kind and generous, and I apologized and I explained. And they were fine. They were very lovely. And and the toilet, they will not let you enter without tipping. So make sure you have 5 Egyptian pound, which is equivalent to less than $1 in New Zealand. Very minimal. But the ladies won't let you in. So and they will try and sell you stuff. So be prepared to say no, or have some patience if you really need to pee. So that was great. And then it was all just driving home, and it was amazing. The drive back was incredible. I'm fascinated by every second is something new, something different. The people, the food stores, the traffic, the beeping, the animals, the donkeys as a man best friend, seeing all the farms, the palm trees. There are thousands of palm trees, and you know what? They don't harvest them for coconuts. They harvest them for dates, which I found fascinating. But it was beautiful when you get back out of the city and you have all this farmland. It's beautiful. It really is stunning. But yeah. The 2 other things I want to mention. Oh yes, a lot of people, you don't need to wear a headscarf. No. That is not mandatory, it's not expected of you. But I wear them at home anyway, because one, just for comfort, and they keep away from the heat, and I feel privacy when I wear one. But coming here, one, it's great for the heat, it's great for the dust. You're being culturally respecting as well. I feel like even though they don't ask it of you, I like to engage in, how their culture works, and that's why I've come here, is to try and slip into their cultural ways of life. So wearing a headscarf really helps, and if you can cover your eyes with it, if you feel like you're in an uncomfortable situation, even sitting in the car on the back of the on the drive home, you know, you get a lot of looks, you get a lot of people trying to get your attention, and so being able to cover your face is really helpful. But yeah, the scarf's great. I love it. So if you want to wear it, go for it. If you don't, no worries. But yeah, it's good. And what else? Wedding ring. Okay, so I did a little bit of shopping today. Overspent a lot, but it was worth it. So yeah, as I was saying, when you go into the shop, they will offer you a beverage. You know, they're wanting to please you, and they're very lovely. I had a great man who was showing me around this beautiful. I was in a fine art place with some very old original papyrus paintings from thousands of years ago, which I wanted to purchase. But yeah, he was trying to ask me to marry him. So yeah, I had to gently lay it down to him that I'm not interested. But he was very eager. So just to make your life easier, I would recommend getting a wedding ring, which I will be getting one while I'm here. It makes things helpful. But yeah, other than that, it's been an eventful couple days, and I'm still learning every second of it. Every moment I'm loving, and yeah, I ended it with a beautiful Egyptian meal of lentil soup and breads and mashed up eggplant, and then I got a shisha, and you know, it's for all of that I paid about 16 New Zealand dollars for dinner, dessert, shisha. I was sitting in the pool room. It was beautiful. I was tipping, so I added, an extra, probably I gave them about $10 each in tips. I had 2 servers who really looked after me, made sure I was comfortable, checked in on me, spoke to me, made me feel very welcome. So yeah, and it was genuine, it wasn't just because they wanted the money, which is part of it in hospitality, and they rely on tips to get by, but they also really just wanted to get to know you, which was lovely. So yeah, I'm going to try and probably get back to sleep now because I've got to get up in about 2 hours, and we are going quad biking through the desert. And then we're going to go on a Nile cruise and watch some beautiful local ballet dancing. So I'm really excited for that. So yeah, I'm mind blowing. I'm going to post some videos of me camelback riding and almost falling off, which you're allowed to laugh at, because let's say the camel decided to sit down and I was not prepared for that, and they fling you back, and you've got to lean back so you don't go toppling forward, and let's say I held on for dear life, and there's a great photo. Anyway, goodbye. I look forward to making more updates. I hope this is helpful. I know it's not the most professional video, or I'm I'm not the best at explaining things and speaking things, but I know as a solo traveller, woman or man, especially woman, a lot of things that I'm learning now, I would have loved to have known. I would have loved to have known these tips, and to make your life easier, or just to be mentally prepared for what to expect. So I hope what I'm sharing helps. Anyway, alright, see you next time.